Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rowan Roundtable here on All Access with the Profs. I'm Ryan Ravel, alongside with basketball beat writer Kevin Kunzman and hockey beat writer Nick Russo. And guys, we're going to start off with basketball with you, Kevin. We know that the Rowan men's team had an abrupt ending to their season the other day. So let's just go over that. Let's go over the playoff loss and how you felt the season went overall for this team.
Well, it was definitely a big disappointment for the team. Heading into about 2 weeks ago, they were actually 16-6, looking very prominent in the NJAC. There's actually about 6 other teams, I think, with a winning record currently in the NJAC. So, seeding is very difficult. You need to be very competitive in your conference games, not just regular season. So that 16-6 overall record, 2 tournament wins, it's not going to mean anything until you get till now. And you see that now. They went 1-3 in the stretch in their NJAC games, final 4 games, ended up 17-8 going into their game against William Patterson. They had to travel, which was surprising. They were actually on pace for, a home game, a higher seed. And, they had to go to William Patterson. You saw that, a 15-point loss. They were outmanned down low. They were out-rebounded. They were outscored.
So, what do you think was the main problem in that William Patterson loss? Was it the drive there? Was it the loss of momentum near the end of the season? What was it that just stopped this team? It was doing so well.
It's definitely a mixture of things. It's definitely the perfect storm. Brendan Cox, he was a senior. He actually lost his eligibility halfway through the season. He was leading the team in points and rebounds. He was a very prominent threat down low. Once they lost that size, they had to rely on Dan Brogan to come off the bench, the 6'7" freshman, hoping that he could, help them out where they can. They're mostly a running gun team, very small team. They like to run the court on the team fast break with Jason Rosenberg. Once they lost Cox, though, any threat of down low force was gone beyond D. Benson. D. Benson's only 6'4". He's not going to be able to, handle himself against these bigger NJAC teams. So once really Cox was gone, things started to look a little rough, and they just weren't able to really recover beyond that.
Not to mention having to rely on that freshman, Brogan, I believe.
Dan Brogan,
Dan
yes.
Brogan. Do you think that was a big part of this? Not to say he had a bad season, but a lot of pressure was put on a freshman. Do you think that was a big part as to what the problem was, or do you think he handled it pretty well?
Speaking to Coach all season long, he kept reiterating, if we rebound, we'll win. If we rebound, we'll win. And that was the very big thing for them, was that they had a very strong core of upperclassmen. Jason Rosenberg is a junior. Talk about Kendall White, his career mark of a season. He's a senior. Fred Petit, senior. These are all guards and forwards guys that are, upperclassmen. But, in the younger ranks, you have big men. But trying to work them into a team that's already built to win now. You can't be trying to rebuild like that. So Brogan definitely did well with the minutes he had, and he looks very promising for the team, but it was just not enough of a threat down low. They didn't have a prominent starting center that they could, have like Cox was for them.
Well, unfortunately, the season did come to an end in that first round of the NJAC tournament. That being said, we look forward to next year now. They are losing a couple seniors, like you said, in Batee. Do you think this team can still be as good as they were this year? Or are they going to fall back a bit? How do you see next season going for this team?
It's only 3. It's a very small core of seniors that they're losing. It's Kendall, Fred Batee, and D. Benson. But the juniors that you see coming up, it's Matt Whitworth will be a senior. Rich McManera, he was leading the team in scoring for a while. Actually, Jason Rosenberg was second in scoring, led all of NJAC with assists. He actually set the assist record for Rowan this year as a junior. So you're looking at an even better core coming up of upcoming seniors that are going to be able to lead this team with plenty of experience. And then you have guys like Brogan. You have many other freshmen. Phil Jackson is going to be another senior, very athletic, very versatile guard forward. So you're really looking at a team that can contend for at least another 2 years on through. But losing White, losing Batee, losing Benson, you're losing a very strong core there.
So lucky for us, one of our more popular teams, the basketball team, does seem to have a bright future ahead of us. We should be expecting things to come for the next few years.
Yeah, trusting Coach Cassidy, he can definitely, put a winning team out there. He knows how to handle the team. He knows how to compensate for a weakness and strengthen a strength.
That's good. So we have things to look forward to. That's going to take us to a team who's not quite done yet. We go to hear to you now, Nick, with the hockey team. Let's start off with about a month or two ago. They had an exciting experience, the hockey team. They had the outdoor game, so tell us a little about that and how the experience was for the team.
Well, yeah, going into the end of the semester, they went out on a high note. And then they had an outdoor game against Montclair, and they went down real quick, but they fought back and made a great game of it. And that's kind of where things kind of went downhill for them. They lost a big piece of their defense. Chris Lowney was really their only real physical presence down on the back line. And then during the outdoor game, freshman Matt Morelli, he went down with an ankle injury. And they've been struggling on the back end since then. They had a couple tough road games. They went to Penn State and lost, and they went away to Rider and lost. And then they went down to Lynchburg, Virginia for Liberty Showcase and beat a really big Virginia Tech team. And that was big for them. They went to Nationals last year. And then they played Liberty 12 hours later and lost. And now, they just it's time for playoffs now.
All right, well, we were talking earlier about those last few games of the season here. They were all exciting games pretty much, whether or not they won or lost. So all that excitement built up. Now, do you think going into this playoff game with, I believe, Liberty, correct? Mm-hmm. Going into that game with Liberty, it's more of a long drive for Liberty than it is for the Rowan team. How do you think they're going to match up here? How do you think they fare? Do they like the matchup going into the playoffs, or are you a little more worried, concerned about this?
Well, losing 8-1 looks really bad, and you'd think they'd be worried about getting beat up on. But the quick turnaround for the last game against Liberty really hurt them, and with Liberty having to travel all the way up from Virginia, it's going to be tough for them to play this game, and where Rowan's only going down the street. So they like the matchup, and what's really important for them is that they did hit some bumps in the second half, but the best case scenario is still possible for them.
That's good. So you like the matchup. Hopefully they get the job done there in the playoffs. That's going to do it all here for us on Rowan Roundtable. Thank you, Kevin and Nick. I'm Ryan Ravel. We're going to take a break here now. When we come back, we will go back to Chris and Tom. They will talk about the women's and men's track teams, and we will also announce the female and male athletes of the week. So stay tuned.